good faith.
And good afternoon, Radio K-Man Nation, and a happy Monday to all of our loyal listeners. As always, you're tuned into the station of the nation, Radio K-Man, and I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Thank you for letting us into your homes, cars, and offices for today's episode of Talk Today. On today's program, we have in studio the Department of Children and Family Services featuring their ambassadors for Older Persons Month, followed by Jasmine featuring their event Voices Around the World, and then Mr. George Smith, president of the Agricultural Society. A special mention to our sponsors, Miss Angela and Mr. Arthur of Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village. Our sponsors are in large part the reasons that we are able to continue the valuable work that we do for the people of the Cayman Islands. And we do encourage all of our listeners to support them while they support you. As always, we do welcome your feedback and questions and invite you to join the conversation. Simply dial 1-800-534-TALK. That's 1-800-534-8255 or 949-8037. Stay tuned for Talk Today following this brief disclaimer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Live Communication.
Let your voice be heard.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for today's show, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And we're very pleased to have in studio three of our ambassadors for Older Persons Month. Mr. McFarland Connolly, a.k.a. Mac. Is that correct? Yes, all right. Yes. And Ms. Beulah McField and Mr. John Ebanks. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Ray.
Afternoon.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I've often said this to my colleagues and friends. I often get along better with children and those that are older than me. I think you have a lot of perspective on life, on finding the joy in life and whatever it is that you do. But I guess we'll start with a very simple question. How did it feel to be chosen to be an ambassador for Older Persons Month? And what was your reaction? How did you take it? Was it a compliment? Were you a bit jaded by the comment? Or Mac, I guess we'll start with you. How did you feel about it?
That's a good question. When I was called up and someone suggested they were submitting my name as an ambassador for Older Persons Month, I wondered for a short while if I was ready for that. But I quickly went along with it.
Fair enough.
Why not?
Why not? Have fun with it.
Sure.
I like that attitude.
Thank you.
And Ms. Beulah, how about yourself? How did you feel when you were first chosen to be the ambassador, or I guess nominated and then chosen?
Yeah, nominated first, and I thought they've certainly made a mistake here because I'm not a senior.
That was, I thought, would have been the response from most,
But after listening to what Cassandra had to say and so forth, I thought it was a wonderful opportunity, and it was such an honor, to be chosen because there are so many seniors out there that are absolutely incredible. So, yeah, it was an honor.
Fair enough. Thank you. Mr. John, how about yourself? How did you feel when you were...
I had to look around, see who they were talking to. I thought it was somebody behind. I didn't feel as if I was in the frame of mind to accept that I am an older person or a nominee for an older person. But when I heard what it was based on for what I do in the community for the 47 plus years, then I realized, oh yeah, why not? It'll never stop me from doing what I'm doing, and I'm intended to continue on my trend of leading a helping hand daily. And I have this motto that I have to do a good deed each day, or sometimes 3. sometimes in 4. Because I program myself now from 1 to 100 or ABC, and I do one thing right after the other. And I get up in the morning, that's how I'm programmed. And I intend to keep that going.
Good for you. Thank you.
So I accepted it.
Thank you. You know, and congratulations again. That's like I said, it wasn't so much about the age factor, but your contributions to the community that was the driving force for your nomination and selection to become ambassadors. And joining the conversation, we have from the Department of Children and Family Services, Miss Jasmine, is it?
Yes, it is.
Welcome to the conversation.
Thank you.
So talk to us a bit about we're all well aware in the community that we've seen the calendar for Older Persons Month and how important it is, and that the Department of Children and Family Services has recognized this month for the past several years. How important is the Older Persons Month initiative for the Department of Children and Family Services as far as the various efforts that you're putting in and the selection of our ambassadors?
The celebration of our seniors is ongoing. The emphasis during the month of October is of much importance to us because we celebrate West all age group, but our seniors have contributed so much to the fabric of our society. You know, with their talents, their mind, they are our foundation. And so having the privilege to serve them and to acknowledge them for an entire whole month, you know, is of much importance to us. We take this task seriously, and we start planning practically almost a year before. We start, as soon as this month finish, we start thinking again for the next senior citizens activity. We take it pretty much seriously because every activity that they enjoy during the month of October is carefully planned around their health, their well-being, and keeping them positive as they continue to age. So we put a lot of effort in it. It's always a challenge to choose ambassadors from our Caymanian seniors because, as I said, they have contributed so much to our society. And every year we choose 4 and we sit back and say, okay, by the time the month finishes, you probably can start thinking who the other ones are going to be next year, because when you see all the come out, there is, as if I call it, discovering a new senior every day and what they have contributed, and it cannot be taken for granted. No, so yes, right. It's of importance, and we do honor our ambassadors and all that they have done towards our development, that the younger generation of Caymanians can enjoy and respect and value their efforts.
And you mentioned you briefly touched on there roughly the theme, or you hinted on the theme for this year's Older Persons Month. What is the theme, and why was that chosen as a theme for this year?
Okay, the theme for Older Persons Month is one I'm pretty much passionate about myself. It's called positive aging.
I think we all have to be that way.
Yes, and we all should be aging positively, actually. And so in choosing this theme, we look at the global picture, you know, what is happening in the world today and what affects the life of our seniors, and how can we help to value our seniors in such a way that we can help them to retain health while they age. Quality of life for our seniors while they age is what positive aging is all about. How do you maintain quality of life while you age? Our chronological age doesn't necessarily mean we drop and die at 86. What it means is that we challenge ourselves at 86 to keep going until we can't go anymore. And we do that by aging positively. We encourage our community to develop age-friendly approach to the services we offer to our people in the communities. Age-friendly approach in the sense that it's accessible to the seniors as well as it to the children. You know, we look at the value of exercise. So in this year, Older Persons Month, we have an exercise thing going on where they could actually go to the gym. We got that opportunity for them. We have the opportunity for them exploring the aspect of yoga, because these events all add up to positive aging, quality of life while we age. Keep those limbs going, keep them moving as long as they can, keep that mind thinking. So we do bingo, we do different things that challenges their mind to think.
That's fantastic. Did any of you get a chance to take part in the yoga activities?
I wanted
Or
to,
any
but
of them?
I didn't get an opportunity.
Mr. Mack, how about yourself?
No.
Yoga was not on the cards.
The yoga was not on the cards.
Any
for this
other
time around.
healthy additions to your life this year that you may have taken on for the positive for this year's theme?
No, there's nothing new, Ray, that I've taken on for this year's theme. I'm just on a very positive journey, and so I'm just continuing that. This is just a matter of continuing that journey that I'm already on.
I like that answer. How about you, Ms. Beulah? Was anything you added in this year, or have you already established a healthy lifestyle overall, and you're just continuing along that same journey?
I think I have a excuse me. I think I have a very healthy lifestyle, and that is that I keep myself engaged. I have faith, and I exercise my faith every day. I'm also encouraging. You know, I like to be with people. I like young children, and I like their energy, and I try to match it. For instance, my grandson and I, we run every day. I chase him, he runs. Every day.
Every day. He gets his exercise, and you get yours.
That's
Exactly.
positive aging, you know.
That is. Mr. John, how about yourself? Was there anything you added this year, or have you?
I wish I could find something to do after 2 in the morning till 6 in the morning. Because I'm now based on between 2 jobs. And I still have a little bit of time because I can't sleep after I get home, so I can still do something constructive. But I would love to see the younger generation pick up some of the mantle and move forward in a positive direction, because a lot of them are not spending enough time with their parents, for one, to even learn how to cook, to even learn how to wash if the washing machine breaks down. It's a lot of stuff that they can still gather. And I don't know, for some reason, the TV and the Nintendos and this and that is all electronic games that's taken over. But they have to continue. They have to pick up and go somewhere, get something motivated. And I personally work along with young people all my life, from 108 men. Some of them were older than me. But that kept me going. That kept the trend. And now I'm in the bar business, and every one of them is like about quarter my age. From that to about a third, and that's about it. So they walk fast, I have to walk fast.
You got to walk faster.
Yeah, I can't walk slow. I don't know what it is to slow down.
And that's why I think probably one of the driving forces for why you were selected is you're not slowing down.
No, God forbid if I have to. I don't know, it'd probably kill me.
How ironic. On that note, let's get a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll explore more of your efforts in the community and your volunteer initiatives that assisted with you being nominated and selected for this year's ambassadors. Be back with more Talk Today right after this.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
I have various items coming from different suppliers that I need to ship to Cayman. Do you offer consolidation?
Yes, Seaboard Marine offers consolidation for full and less than container loads. We can hold your packages at our Miami warehouse until everything arrives and ship it all in one go. And we have the best rates to Grand Cayman. Visit seaboardmarine.com for more information.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
As a Caymanian, it's very important to me that projects like this are thought of thoroughly before continuing.
My question is, do we need it? And I've not yet been fully convinced that we need it, nor have I been fully convinced that we don't need it. So
what guarantee do we have that these ships are going to continue to come?
Please make the right decision.
Please don't let the catchy songs overturn you. Please support the referendum. Please ensure that you are supporting sustainable tourism, not just money-making tourism.
If the project plans have changed, even though it might be insignificant on paper, it's going to be significant for the environment.
They need to release official information, official facts.
That's where I am right now. I want to know, I want more information on do we need it.
It's your vote, your future.
So make a decision based on fact.
You deserve the whole truth.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we're more than just an insurance company, we're family. To learn more about our first-in-class group health and employee benefit solutions, please visit Pan American Life Insurance Company of the Cayman Islands at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304. You can also visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life. People you can trust for life.
King Sports Center takes pride in being more than just an ordinary gymnasium. For 14 years, their multi-purpose facility has been providing the community with a variety of sporting, recreational, and relaxation activities. King Sports Center has a bowling alley, lounge bar, multi-purpose rooms, powerhouse gym, rock climbing wall, bungee jumping, a 10,000 square foot rink, and so much more. For more information on the variety of services, call their friendly staff today at 946-5464 or email kings@candw.ky or visit www.kingsportscenter.com. King Sports Center, your one-stop shop for fitness, recreation, and relaxation.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for today's show, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, and we are pleased to have in studio the ambassadors for the Department of Children and Family Services Older Persons Month. We have in studio ambassadors Ms. Beulah McField, Mr. John Ebanks, and Mr. Mac McFarland Connolly. Welcome again to the show, and to all of our listeners out there, thank you for tuning in. Now, with regards to the selection for this year's Older Persons Month and for all the Older Persons Month, a lot of the emphasis is on the community initiatives that you each partake in throughout the course of the year, throughout your lives that you've partaken in overall. Mr. Mack, if we could start with you, if you could walk us through some of your community service initiative, volunteer initiatives, and why you have taken those on and why you feel it's important to continue giving back in the way that you do.
Sure. But Ray, I've come to this from a direction that seems to be a little different, and it's that at the age of 54, back in 2006, having been part of the church for most of my life up until that point, and being an elder, I got to thinking that there must be more to the Christian walk than I was experiencing at the time. And it led to me resigning, leaving the job at age 54, in search of truth, in search of meaning, in search of what this is supposed to be about. And it is out of that journey that has come now my involvement with the things I'm involved in the community, helping older people, helping younger people for that matter.
Yes,
but
of course.
It is from that this has come.
Now, when you talk about your help with older people and younger people, what kind of help are we, especially for the younger people, what kind of help are you offering for younger people?
Guidance. It's about saying to individuals. I meet someone on the road, and I get into what this journey means to me, where this journey has taken me, the things I've heard, the things I've seen, the things I now realize. I up until that point, I have not asked what they believe in, what they don't believe in. I'm just sharing my experience, and out of that comes the rest of this stuff.
It's impressive. No, by all means, please go. Well, you mentioned a part there at 50. Was it 54?
Yep, 54.
Leaving the professional 9-to-5er?
And I had been a banker all of my life. And at that stage realized, okay, there's obviously something else I need to do. And the years are advancing, so maybe now is the time to do it. And if I don't do it now, when?
Okay.
And
was there an epiphany moment? Like, was there a moment that you went, you know what, this is not the journey that I want to, my legacy I want to leave. This this is the one, and the change hats to the...
Well, it is something that I had been thinking about for about 6 years. I started thinking about this around the year 2000, and was then at 2006. I'd been away from the office for 2 weeks. Got back to the office the Monday morning, and I'm standing by my desk and realize, okay, there's a distance between me and the desk right now. So there are papers that have been dropped on the desk while I was gone. So do I sit down now and get back into this? Or is this where I'm supposed to turn and go back through the door? Ended up typing my resignation, taking it up to the president that morning, and left there 5 o'clock that evening. And here I am. And it has been an awesome, amazing journey. And like I indicated before, then it's out of that my involvement now comes. It meant that for a while, I needed to pull back from a number of things as I sort of figured out what this was about, where it was going, and the rest of it. And then once I had some of that covered, then get back into things and started helping here, there, wherever. But it's about, for me now, it's about the message, and it's for the older ones as well as the younger one, and importantly for the younger ones, because they too are going to get older one day, be older, and this is stuff that they need. This is stuff that they need. They need to know how to tackle this as it comes.
Mr. McFarland, thank you so much for that. Ms. Beulah, same question to you. As far as your community service initiatives and your volunteer efforts that you've taken on, why have you chosen those initiatives to focus your efforts on, or energies in, and why do you feel it's important to give back?
Well, just like Mac, my pivotal moment was the death of my father for me. And I started to realize that I too was dying. For every day that we live, we're dying. We're moving closer to that. And so my thing was, if I die, what have I done? That was my question. And so I sought God, and thankfully I think I found it. And I came to the realization of love. And love we all take as a word, as an emotion, but it really isn't. It's our action. That is what truly illuminates and shows us love, what we love. And so I quit my job. I had one daughter in college and one in her last year of high school and a son in preschool, and I quit my job. And I decided to pursue love in action. And so I started an after-school program for young children in the community. And that led me also to Meals on Wheels. And a lot of people say, well, why Meals on Wheels? Like, why did you do it? And the best scenario I can think of is this little story. There was a senior, and the community nurse, the visiting nurse, called me and said, she needs a meal. And I went by to see her. She's legally blind, huge issue with circulations, in a wheelchair, and she's got the wheelchair to her stove trying to cook her own meal. Now she can barely see, and she's there cooking her meal. So I go to her and I talk to her and I said, I'd like to bring you a meal. And she turns her head towards me and says, that's all right, darling, she said, but I don't eat from everybody. So I could not get her to take my meal. So for 1 year, I courted her. And finally, she said, okay, bring me a meal. And we became lifelong friends until she died. But that's the kind of people we have within our community. Now, she was obviously in need of it. But there was a pride issue, there was a trust issue, and those are the things that love speaks to. Love takes its time. Love continually pursues, and then love fulfills. So that's why I do Meals on Wheels. It's why I do the after-school program with little children. I usually have children that are in crisis. And I take them when no one else will. And I can tell you more than 99% of the time, by the time they leave me in year 6, they're no longer in crisis.
The work of the city, but I'm going to clap my hands now. That was fantastic. You know, I'm going to ask a question later about the message that we'd love to impart on our younger generation. And I'd love to have you repeat, even though if that's not your message, I'd love to have you repeat what you just said about how love is the action and the pace of it and that enduring quality to it.
That's right.
Because that's such an important message that I think is lost in the technological improvements that we see in our community. Mr. John, same question to you, because you've been a very big member of the Lions Club. What are the initiatives that you've taken on, and why do you feel it's so important to take on the volunteer initiatives that you have?
That's a long story.
We got plenty of time.
But I'll start from going to school. I left school when I was 15 to go to sea to make a living for my family. And I encountered a lot of people in the outside third world countries, needless to say, that needed all the help they could get. And I still got a knack for giving. And I started giving. Then I realized that this is where I want to be, always able to help someone. I came back home after 7.5 years, seen the world 3-4 times. And of course I call it seeing the world free and getting paid to do it. And I built my first house when I was 19 years old. I came home after 3.5 years, and my mother told me, I said to her, can I have a bank book and go spend some money with the boys? Man, now. She said, you just passed it along the road. I said, what do you mean? She said, your grandfather gave you a piece of land, and I built a house on it with the money you sent home. I was home 10 days. Went back to the same ship, because they hadn't had a relief for me as yet, so I got a chance to go back. And after 7.5 years, I said, well, this is enough of this. Let me go home. I came home, worked with Lemon Asphalt on the airport. They're another need for people. And I saw some guys that were drinking heavy, and I tried to calm them down, say, you don't have to drink on the job. You know, I tried to persuade them because of my brother, so you couldn't have alcohol on the job. And after that, then I went to work on NREL Public Works at the time, 1969. And for 41 years there, 41.5 years there continuously, I had the privilege of helping some of the younger ones with drug problems, with you name it. And I created a forensic test that they had to take when they applied for a job. They had to take to the hospital to get tested. And that worked good for a couple of years, I'd say about 10, 15 years. I said, you fire yourself if you come back positive. You didn't get a job. Some of them didn't even come back and tell me that they was positive. I didn't know. I didn't ask for the results. But when they didn't show up, then I knew what. So that worked for a while. So I said, here I am, helping somebody. They got to get out of it to get to me if they want a job. And then it moved on up. I joined Miss Hilton, Joyce Hilton. She was the social worker for the Cayman Islands at the time. And she was the only social worker, really. She had 48 people on her list. And I started shopping in Miami with her for those same people. And today it has grown to 592 and growing still. I don't know what the list is this year, but last year it went 592. Shut-ins, indigent people who needed help. And I got a knack then for what they needed, their needs were, particularly toiletries, etc., for the older people. Then I got in contact with the manufacturers in Hialeah, factory outlets. I would go knock on the door. You never seen a vehicle around there. You knock on the door, somebody will open it for you. You just call them, tell them you're on your way. And I buy things by the cases. Sometimes when they ship it down, it was like 1,800 pounds of weight. But I got to the stage where I got it duty-free, I got it freight-free. So all I had to do produce what I had from last year, and they were paid. So we got it in and we distributed throughout the islands. And every Christmas, and that had to be on Christmas Day. It had to be delivered on Christmas Day. It meant so much. Why? Because some of the parents, they had their son living about a mile, 2 miles down the road. Now we can call them and say, how are you doing Christmas morning? But here we were delivering. And I felt good about that. And that has drawn me to anything and anytime I see somebody on the road or anywhere, I have to help. I have to help. Don't care what it is. I have to get involved. If I'm not involved, I'm not helping. And I grew with that over the years, and that's what has drawn me to be in the position that I am, that I don't think I'm old, and I don't think I'll ever get old as long as I help someone. Because as long as you see need out there, go at it. There is a payoff for it, and that's good health. That's my payment.
That's your payment.
And that's all I ask for.
You've answered so many of my questions in that one little 2-minute segment. So many other questions that I have, just not on the show, just in general, you have just managed to answer right there. Thank you so much for that. On that note, let's get a quick short break. When we come back, I'll be exploring more about our ambassadors for 2019 Older Persons Month. Be back with more talk today, right after this.
The government claims the cruise berthing facility won't cost us a penny. It will be paid for by the cruise passenger who use it, not by our people or our government.
The fact is, you will be paying.
Because government is going to give the consortium development team, led by Royal Caribbean and Carnival, a portion of the cruise revenue that is currently being banked by government.
What's more, we will be repaying them
$450 million.
$250 million more
than what the facility even costs.
It's your vote, your future.
So make a decision based on fact.
You deserve the whole truth.
Few people speak up when they witness cyberbullying. Logic is proud to present The Change Project, a 15-minute documentary that captures the reality of cyberbullying and the mental health impact on teens, parents, teachers, and families. It's part of a campaign that strives to make a difference in the community by promoting responsible internet and social media use in the Cayman Islands. Screening is at the Camana Bay Cinema on Friday, October 25th at 7 p.m. Afterwards, please join Logic for a family-friendly gathering at Abacus. RSVP to eventpro.ky.
The 2019 Fall Labor Force Survey and Pilot Census are currently being conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office. The Labor Force Survey collects data on the employed and unemployed persons, while the Pilot for Census 2020 will test the questionnaire prior to its finalization. Trained interviewers with ESO ID cards will visit randomly selected households in all districts. The interviews are confidential in accordance with the statistics law. No individual data will be published or disclosed. Survey data are exempt from freedom of information. For more details, please call the ESO on 516-3329.
For the record, the fresh approach for information that matters to you, the people. Hear from the government, the opposition, independents, and other experts on issues and solutions that affect you.
For the record.
Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, tune into 89.9 and 93.9 FM.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Cayman Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. And Seaboard Marine, with over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for today's show, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And we have in studio 3 of our distinguished ambassadors for this year's Older Persons Month. We do have a 4th ambassador from Cayman Brac, Mrs. Maureen Idalise Scott, 72 years young. And we are hoping to get her on the phone line sometime within this show segment today. But we can turn the spotlight back on our three guests here today, Mr. McFarlane Connolly, Miss Beulah McField, and Mr. John Ebanks, all ambassadors for this year's Older Persons Month. Now, we've been discussing your volunteer and community service initiatives throughout the community here. And a big part of your selection for this year's Older Persons Month has been those volunteer initiatives. How much, and we'll go one by one as well, how much do you feel these volunteer initiatives have helped in keeping you young and just energized? And what do you feel is the correlation between your volunteer initiatives and your healthy, positively living lifestyle? Positive aging, thank you, lifestyle. Mr. Mack.
Yeah, thanks, Ray. The way I see it, my positive aging comes out of the journey I mentioned before, and the fact that brings to me positive living. And out of that positive living, then, of course, comes the positive aging. From that journey, there are a number of things that came through to me. One of those being that in Isaiah 58 and verse 10, we are told that we should spend ourselves on behalf of the hungry and to satisfy the needs of the oppressed. And of course, Isaiah 55 and 8, he tells us that his thoughts are not our thoughts, and our ways are not his ways. So that meant I needed to determine, what does he mean by spend yourself on behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed? And of course, Matthew 5 and 6, blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. The hunger he's talking about in 58:10 is those who are hungering and thirsting for righteousness' sake. They need to be filled. Spend yourself filling them. And that is a big part of what I do now. Satisfy the needs of the oppressed. So we find in Matthew him telling us, Jesus himself saying, as you go, you declare the kingdom is near. My coming has brought it near enough. You declare that the kingdom is near. You heal the sick. You raise the dead. You cleanse the leper. You drive out evil spirit. These are needs of the oppressed. Are we equipped to deal with these things? I say to you, we should be. We should be. We are not. But having said that, as I go, I identify needs, a lot of needs, and whatever they might be, then I endeavor to address those as I come upon them. If this is someone who is in need of a meal, then I know I can call on Sister Beulah, and she can take care of this, knowing where to call for the need at hand. But being able to discern what these needs are, and many times the individual you're running into have no idea what their real need is.
Rarely they do.
Rarely they do. So this is a journey I'm on. This is a journey.
And it's keeping you very lively, keeping you full of smiles too.
Oh, yeah.
You haven't stopped smiling since you've been on the show. Like you're on camera, you've been smiling nonstop.
I don't think I ever do.
I don't know about the nickname Mac anymore. I think Smiley would have been like a more fitting one in this case.
I answer to so many names. It's not funny. So one more doesn't hurt.
I love it. Ms. Beulah, same question to you. I mean, do you find that your initiatives help in keeping you young and youthful in your...
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think... I never think about it. Can I say that first?
Of course.
I mean, you're giving me something to think about, but I never think about it. Whether what my age is or whether I'm youthful or any such thing. I don't think about things like that because in the changing of my journey, that was one of the things I left behind. I was very selfish in my young age, and I'm not ashamed to say so. It was about me. I was a chain smoker for 25 years. I smoked 2.5 packs of cigarette a day. And so these things, when you find things that are not positive, that don't add to you, then don't be afraid to get rid of them. So I decided to get rid of a lot of things in my life.
What age did that start at for you?
That started at 40.
Okay.
And so I decided to get rid of these things in my life and not to look back. And in changing that, then, you know, the whole thing about nature is it abhors a vacuum. So you really can't get rid of something until you replace it with something else. So when I decided to get rid of my old life, I needed to replace it with a new life. And so this was when I decided that in this new life, I wanted to be the one that gave love and not always just the one that took love. And so in doing that, then I decided on the different things that I would do. I did 22 years of prison ministry. I did the after-school program. I did the Meals on Wheels. I helped with whatever I could find. The Bible tells us that when you can find something good to do, that you should do. And so that's what I sought to do. And in doing that, I really think about myself. I spend little time thinking about Beulah because she's just not that important. There's just so many things more in the world that's important. And so that's what I do. And that's my way of being positive. And just living ages me. So positive aging.
And chasing after your grandson.
Chasing after my son.
That quote is going to stick with me for a while. Nature abhors a vacuum.
Yes.
Very powerful. Yes. Very powerful quote. Mr. John, we do want to hear from the exact same from you. However, we have a caller on the line, so we will go to our caller very quickly. Caller, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you today?
Okay, and good afternoon to you guys.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How can we help you today? Do you have a comment or a question for our guests?
Yeah, I'll comment.
Please.
Yeah, praying and fasting slows down your aging process. And people have to remember the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. When you rest on the Sabbath day, keeps you healthy. And I asked my grandfather when he was 99 years old. I asked him, I said, Papa, how you grows to be so old? And he said, I honored my mother and father. And I said to him, I said, Papa, you afraid to die? He said, Kid, everybody afraid to die, son. And he had very good memory. And I asked him, I said, Papa, how your memory so good? And he said, that mint, I drinks a lot of mint tea, Kid. The mint tea, not the one you buy from the store in the box. The mint tree you see me got out in our yard. That keeps your memory very good. So that is what I had to share today. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. We do appreciate that. Mint tea. Thoughts?
From the time my children were baby, mint tea.
Mint tea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting the big flag down from the studio here. Let's go to our 1 p.m. headline news. When we come back, we'll be here from Mr. John on his views on his efforts in keeping him young. Be back with more talk today right after this.
Radio K-Man. Radio K-Man's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
From natural hair to colorism to sisterhood to owning your value, the inaugural My Dear Melanin Conference is all about embracing the natural beauty of women in the Cayman Islands. The My Dear Melanin Conference will be taking place on Saturday, October 26th at the Harkwell Theatre from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Tickets are now available for purchase, and you can check out mydearmelanin.com. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. Residents in Fort Worth, Texas have held a protest outside the home of a black woman who was shot dead by police through her bedroom window. A vigil became a demonstration as residents demanded justice for 28-year-old Tatiana Jefferson, who was killed by a white officer. A neighbor had called a non-emergency police number after growing concerned that her front door was open at night. Body cam footage shows an officer shooting within seconds of seeing her. And singer Harry Styles told a court he locked his bedroom door every night after being stalked by a homeless man he felt sorry for. 25-year-old Styles offered to buy 26-year-old Pablo Herrera food after he saw him sleeping rough outside his northwest London home in March. Herrera allegedly followed him and posted notes in his letterbox. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
To the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for today's show, we have had a fantastic show thus far with our three of our distinguished members, ambassadors for Older Persons Month. They've got me laughing here during the break. Mr. John Ebanks, Mr. Mac McFarlane Connolly, and Ms. Beulah McField, and our ambassador from Cayman Brac, Miss Maureen Adelaide Scott. In case you're wondering what we were just laughing about during the break, I got to put the mic back on Mr. John to talk us through the castor oil moment when we were kids.
Yeah, it works. It worked. But it was for anything that works for you, and it's all in the mind. Keeping young, keeping or aging is you got to work at it physically, mentally, and keeping occupied. I don't have one dull moment in my life. Not one. When I'm not thinking about the next program or just coming off of one. And that's what keeps me young. Like I say, I can program myself. Sometimes it's in the phone. You look at the phone, you see the 22nd, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things to do. And I'll put them in alphabetical order, and I go down the road, and I come back in half an hour, 15 minutes next, and I'm finished for the day. But I have to program myself. You have to get to the stage. Aging is something that I didn't realize until I got to the stage where I welcome anybody, younger than me, older than me, everybody. At one point, I thought it was only up above me, way up above me. But when I look back now, I saw there was some that was aging, younger than me, wonder why. Then I realized that, no, they're not on the right road. Something went wrong somewhere along the line. And why I say that is because I had people working with me that used to use drugs, and if you look at them, they were like 20, 30 years younger than me, most of the times. I had one guy in particular, had 9 O-levels from school, and he was shoveling for me. I was his supervisor. And I said to him, if I only had one of those, the governor would have to make a 1-week appointment to see me. And you got 9 O-levels, and here you are. But they don't think about the aging side of it. They only know living from day to day. You know, once they can buy a pack of cigarettes, buy a beer, whatever, and that's their home. That environment is no good for them. It's no good for the youth. The youth today has to grab the handle and move on, and something positive, something that will lead them to a direction that they have no blinds, no deviation. They must go on. They must continue to make it profitable and successful at it. I say to most people in aging, keep active, be honest, and be reluctant in doing bad deeds, and you can see them coming a mile away. Keep your eyes open and keep on the straight and narrow path. You don't have no way to go besides good will follow you. My grandmother used to tell me that. She said, you do good, good will follow you. You do evil, that too shall follow you. And I grew up with that. Aging is just a number. For those who feel like they're aged, I don't think that way. I can't think that way. Because God forbid if I get a foot turn under me and I got sprained ankle, I got no start right away, try to get better by the next hour. Some people lay down, hold up, and got to elevate and this and that. No, that don't stop. That don't help you. You got to keep moving. Keep them joints going.
You'd get along very well with my dad. You got to keep moving.
You got to keep moving. You just can't stop.
Mr. John, thank you. We do have a caller on the line. Let's get a call, and then I have my final question for the three of you. Hello, good afternoon, caller. How are you today?
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Mr. Singh, and good afternoon to the three wonderful elder people here. I'm into that bracket a long time now. And I agree with everything they're saying, especially what you just said there, Mr. John. Tell the young people, keep on the straight and narrow, no matter how hard it is and how many opportunities you may miss, make wealth or whatever, or make new friends. That's a fleeting thing. It'll pass and you'll be worse off than when you started out. I just saying with keeping the Sabbath is a nice idea, but it's not a concept that we have to find a day, special day to rest. Or people have to work every day. That's the real world. I mean, we know the Lord Jesus, some of the greatest persecutions against the master was for him, against him working on the Sabbath day. And he's the master and the King of Kings. The man who said, I'm the way, the only way. And that's the way we believe in Amen, and all is believed. Those of us were told. So many people, seamen particularly, policemen, nurses, doctors, they have to work on Saturday or Sunday. And whichever day off you have from work or whatever, and you do rest a little, and then you can keep that holy for a few hours. Good Lord wants us to be good, not stupid. And that's my take on that part of it. But I remember I started out working with older people. Everybody in the department that I worked with, which are mostly out on the road, of a huge corporation that were older than I am. I was, anyhow. Some were 20 years older and more. So I learned to be around old people and learned. And when I say old, 40 years old was old for 20-year-old or 18-year-old. And that I learned from them because they had the experience that I would have to take 20 years to learn. So I had a little bit of a head start, getting my mind much more matured than a normal 20-year-old. And this is what happened with a lot of guys who went to sea also. They were amongst older men. As Sir John said, he went at 15, and there were a few other Caymanians who went national boat at 15 too. I know them very well. And they too had that experience because everybody be older than you, teaching you things, and you learn. You know, you might have some fun, and you may find yourself wasting money or time with anything, whether you're at sea or on the other jobs. And then you get that, always that reminder from the older ones, be careful, do this, do that, and learn this and learn while you can. And it's always very good for us to listen to the older people. And and I'm so appreciative of this, that you all are ambassadors, took the time. I remember out there at Peterborough, the Tuesday it was last week, a week before. And anyhow, seeing all those faces was wonderful, and happiness and joy on their face, and the joy on those ambassadors, helping them, the satisfaction they get, and you do get that satisfaction, and you try to help. And anywhere you see there is a little can asking for the help, or there's people asking for help, for older people, try and donate something. Do it. You can't donate the time. Like most people, sometimes you're tied up with time. Donate some money. Donate something. Talk to them. Go and visit or something, you know. And you learn. You'll always learn from older people. It may sound jumbled up what I'm trying to get across these few minutes. But again, I just want to show and say you have a total admiration, and I commend you, the three of you. And the older folks, take heart. The others who are young, if they're blessed, they'll reach that age too someday, and they'll have a better grasp on just what it feels like. And don't feel yourself old. So John is encouraging you. Sometimes you say, oh boy, my leg is hurting me so much, my back is hurt so much. I've had 2 herniated discs in my spine for over 40 years, but I keep going. I'm in pain. I don't bother to mention it. Try not to, and that's it. You know, just keep going, as you said, Mr. John. Just keep going. Wonderful again. Thank you all very much for being here, and thanks so much for this program. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. I'll listen on.
Thank you for calling in, sir. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah. On that, Ray, I would say that it's important for us to understand that it's really about worship and worshiping God, and not just on one day, but every day. In Hebrews 4 and 7, we find it saying that God again appointed a certain day, calling it today. When a long time later he spoke through his servant David, saying, today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your heart. It's about us worshiping him, finding a way, understanding what worship is from his perspective, and the scriptures clearly tell us, and worshiping him every day. We touched on what we would say to the younger us a while ago.
That's my next question. Yeah,
that's your next one. Well,
no, by all means.
I want preempt it then if it's your next question.
By all means, for our listeners' sake, the question I had, we tend to mention to older, I hate to like the word older, but to the older generation, what would you say to the younger generation to get them more engaged, to get them to keep moving? But I want to turn that question into yourselves, and it was, what would you say to your younger self at 25 or 30 years old, where you're just kind of entering the, the funnel of adulthood? What would you say to yourself then, to having had this many more years of experience on your side?
And knowing what I know now, I would be saying to the younger me, talking to the younger me about self-control. Be self-control and alert. And I only wish that back then I'd known more about that than I did at that time. It's in recent times, since I've been on this journey, and I indicated earlier, this journey for me started at 54 years of age. And since I've been on this, I've heard the Master speak from various scriptures, a number of scriptures, but one in particular that have really resonated with me, and it is 1 Corinthians chapter 6, 18 and 19. And it says, flee from sexual immorality. All of the sins a man commits are outside his body. He who sins sexually sins against his body. We reach verse 19, and it says, don't you know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, who you received from God? You are not your own. You have been purchased with a price. Honor God with your body. I wish I had known that when I was a teenager, when I was 19, when I was 20. Now I read it and I hear the Holy Spirit speaking directly to me. I wish I'd known that then. Back then, if I saw it, if I heard it, then it was something that Paul said to the Corinthians. But it wasn't what the Holy Spirit was saying to me. It had nothing to do with me, really, as far as I was concerned at the time. But looking back at it now, it's everything to do with us. Flee from these things. Our young people need to hear.
That's a great message for anybody to hear. Ms. Beulah, same question to yourself.
Wow.
If you were to speak to your 25-year-old version of yourself.
At 25 years of age, I would have told myself, don't sweat it. Just don't sweat it.
What?
Don't sweat life. Don't get over anxious for something to happen in your life. It will. To relax. Trust yourself.
How do you do that at 25? The reason I ask the question is, it's easy to say, not that it's easy to say it now, but when you're in that moment of 25 years old and you're feeling the pressure of whatever it is that you're feeling pressured about, what do you tell yourself to not sweat it?
Look past the circumstances. Get outside of it. You know, sometimes we just live in the moment of whatever's going on in our lives. At 25, I separated from my husband with 2 children, and I got stuck there for a very long time because I couldn't see past that separation. I couldn't see past that break. So I would say to that person, get past it. Look beyond it. Life goes on, and no matter where you are, it's not going to last. Good or bad, it's going to change. Other things are going to come, other things are going to go. I like to remind myself that I can't change anything by worrying, and I wish I'd known that at 25. I wish I'd known that worrying changes nothing. And so to continue to live positively, thinking that better is definitely on its way to me. My thing is today, I tell people all the time, my God will move heaven and earth to get something to me that I need. And so I'm not going to sweat it. And if I had learned that at 25, I'd probably a whole different person sitting here today. But life does go on. And if you miss it at 25, find it at 30. And if you miss it at 30, search for it at 35. And if you miss it at 35, keep looking at 40. But whatever you do, keep moving forward. Life is going to take care of itself. It always does. That is something I know from experience. It always does. It takes care of itself.
Ms. Beulah, thank you. That was very beautifully well said, and thank you for that. Mr. John, I'm going to have to call a quick timeout once again. I'm sorry to put that on you again, but our commercial break is coming up. That note, we'll take a quick commercial break. We're back with more Talk Today right after this.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
As a Caymanian, it's very important to me that projects like this are thought of thoroughly before continuing.
My question is, do we need it? And I've not yet been fully convinced that we need it, nor have I been fully convinced that we don't need it. So
what guarantee do we have that these ships are going to continue to come?
Please make the right decision.
Please don't let the catchy songs overturn you. Please support the referendum. Please ensure that you are supporting sustainable tourism, not just money-making tourism.
If the project plans have changed, even though it might be insignificant on paper, it's going to be significant for the environment.
They need to release official information, official facts.
That's where I am right now. I want to know, I want more information on do we need it.
It's your vote, your future.
So make a decision based on fact.
You deserve the whole truth.
vehicle owners are reminded that the Department of Vehicle and Driver's Licensing amnesty will expire on November 1st. The amnesty provides a waiver of back fees for unlicensed vehicles. If you plan to keep your vehicle on the road, keep your plates and visit the DVDL. If you are discarding your vehicle, dispose of it at the landfill and drop your plates off at the DVDL. For more information, contact 945-8344 or visit www.dvdl.gov.ky. Don't forget to tune in every Monday through Friday for the 7 a.m. news, brought to you by Cayman National Bank, proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
Hi, my name is Neraya LeBlanc. I am the minister and evangelist to the West Bay Church of Christ on 24 Batabano Road. I would love to take this opportunity to invite you to experience God's family at West Bay for yourself. We are a caring congregation that strongly believes in reaching out beyond ourselves to spread the gospel of Christ. We also take great pleasure in ministering to the needs of our people in our community. As God's called out kingdom people, we are in the business of transforming lives for the Master's use. For more information, you can visit our website at westbaycichurchofchrist.org or call us at 946-9294 or 917-1809.
Declaring the word of the Lord. Cayman Islands Church of Christ presents Word of the Lord.
Word of the Lord, heard Sundays at 6:30 p.m. on Radio Cayman.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for our show, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, and we have in studio 3 of the 4 masters for this year's Older Persons Month. Mr. Mac McFarlane Connolly, Miss Beulah McField, and Mr. John Ebanks. And Mr. John, sorry to cut you off, or not to get to you in that last part before the break, but as far as yourself, what, if anything, would you say to your 20 to 25-year-old version of yourself about life, if you had that opportunity?
I wish I knew then what I know now.
And what is that? What do you know now that you wish you had known?
With the experience that I have, the knowledge about everyday living, I would have made a better person than I am today.
What would you have done better?
I would have been in a better position to help more people, number one.
Okay.
Number 2, I would have probably lived longer than my 70 plus, because I told somebody last night, I said, how old you are? I said, 70 plus. He said, 70 plus. I said, well, you figure it out. He said, 79. I said, no, not quite, but it's still 70 plus. And like I said, had I had an idea that I was going to live this long, I would have took better care of my life. I was on the rough ages that time, but I had no idea I would get up here. None whatsoever. And that's because of the dangers I were in, going to sea and everything else around me, working on the roads, the equipment, the time I fell down the asphalt and got burnt up, because the asphalt was 395 degrees Fahrenheit. And I got tripped up over wire guiding for the level. And these things I would have been more careful with had I known I was going to live this long. And God forbid if I wouldn't have probably had the experience I have now if I hadn't went through the process of
course,
the way I did to get this far. But I have no regrets, and if I had to do it all over, I would do it again. And that's for sure. All I can encourage anybody, look for a goal, search for it, and follow it. It's your dream. It's nobody's history. Work at it. That's it.
Mr. John, thank you so much. Mr. John, Miss Beulah, and Mr. Mack, thank you genuinely so much. This actually was one of my favorite shows hosting. I genuinely mean that. I would actually love to have the opportunity one day to actually interview each one of you individually for this length of time, because there's so much wealth of experience that you have to share, and can't say enough about that. Thank you so much again for coming, and congratulations on being selected for this year's ambassadors for Older Persons Month.
Thank you. My daughter's coming in next.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So I can ask her the same questions that I asked you. See, what would have been better? I'd actually interview her first and then interview you. Miss Jasmine, before we go, so Older Persons Month is still going on for another 2 weeks.
Yes, it is.
Walk us through some of the events. We have about 3 minutes. Walk us through some of the events and the major events coming up over the next few weeks.
Okay, we have been having a ball so far, and we continue to do so for the remaining 2 weeks. Our seniors have been supporting the activities through rain or shine. They've been very well supported.
That's great.
And we have a fun-packed 2 weeks ahead of us. Tomorrow, well, we are going to be talking on For the Health of It, another era in positive aging. On Thursday, we have a presentation on court services, legal services. We're going to be having a discussion on that, advising our seniors. Fridays are gym days. So Friday the 18th and Friday the 25th of October, those are our gym days. At Bliss Yoga. Yes.
And Body Alive? What is Body Alive?
Body Alive, yes.
Is that a gym studio?
Yes, it is. And our seniors have been making use of these opportunities, and they've been enjoying it.
Now, do they have to register for these activities?
Yes, it's best that you call.
Okay.
So I'm sure we'll have space for those gym activities, but it's best that you call to get the more detail of the arrangement and everything, timing, ahead of time.
Okay. And the numbers to call for those activities?
The numbers to call for those activities, you can always call 949-0290, which is our main number.
Okay.
And then there is a number for your community development officers. Vanda Pori, if you're from West Bay, at 916-7902. Darlene Welcome, if you're in Georgetown, at 925-4083. Flavia Gardner for Northside, 926-0490. And Carl Borden, 924-3309.
Okay.
So those persons you can call specifically, or the office at 949-0290. We have a Saturday night bingo coming up at the Lions Community Center on Saturday the 19th, 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. I think we have a movie tomorrow night at Commander Bay, tomorrow at 1 p.m. at Commander Bay for our seniors. Yes, we do have a lot of stuff left.
What's the movie they're going to be seeing tomorrow?
I am not certain, but it's a comedy. That's what it is. It's a comedy, and I'm sure they're going to be enjoying that. I'm not remembering the name of the comedy now, but I do know it's a comedy, and laughing is a part of positive aging. It relaxes the face muscles and keep us young.
Absolutely.
So we do have that coming on. And, of course, we have BRAC activities. BRAC have a social on the 23rd of October. Friday again is gym day, and Saturday the 26th we close the month with a bang. It's our older persons gala. Our older persons get to dress pretty, dress at their best, come out for this grand evening of dancing and music and enjoying each other's company. That's always sold out. It's always full. Older Persons Gala, we cater for over 200 persons, over 250 persons every year at the Older Persons Gala. That's our big event. This year we're going to be at Margaritaville Resort, beginning at 6 to 10 p.m. on the 26th of October. So that concludes our activities for the remaining of the month of October.
That's great, Ms. Jasmine. Thank you so much for all that. And if anyone's looking for more information, they can call the main line again at
949-0290.
0290. Thank you so much. And to all of our ambassadors, thank you very much again for coming in today. And congratulations, and enjoy the rest of Older Persons Month. And keep doing what you're doing, because that's amazing. It's I've had a fantastic show today. Thank you so much again.
Payday for that is when you get up there.
That's when the payday is, right?
Yes. When you get up there.
When you get up there.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. On that note, we'll take a...
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Mr. Mack. On that note, we'll take a quick short break. When we come back, we'll be meeting with the representatives from Jasmine on their event, Voices Around the World. Be back with more talk today right after this.
Think about something that makes you happy. Did it make you smile? We know it did, because that's what we do at Sagicor. Put smiles on our clients' faces every day. With a large range of products to cover your family, it's no wonder most locals choose Sagicor for their life insurance needs. Serving the community for over 25 years. Let us put a smile on your face. Call your Sagicor advisor today.
The government claims the cruise berthing facility won't cost us a penny. It will be paid for by the cruise passenger who use it, not by our people or our government.
The fact is, you will be paying.
Because government is going to give the consortium development team, led by Royal Caribbean and Carnival, a portion of the cruise revenue that is currently being banked by government.
What's more, we will be repaying them
$450 million.
$250 million more
than what the facility even costs.
It's your vote, your future.
So make a decision based on fact.
You deserve the whole truth.
The Cayman Islands Seafarers Association wishes to remind all members that there will be a general meeting on Tuesday, October 15th at 7:30 p.m. in the Seafarers Hall, 11 Victory Avenue, Prospect. It is expected that all members come dressed in their CISA shirts. Transportation will be provided as follows. 3 buses will leave from the West Bay Town Hall at 6 p.m. The Barnes bus route in Georgetown leaves the public library parking area at 6:30, stopping at the Cayman Compass building and the airport Fosters. The bus marked Boba $1 public transport and is blue in color will do pickups from British Caymanian, Uncle Bill's, Walker's Road, Shedden Road, and Crew Road. In East End, the bus pickups are the primary school parking lot, the gas station, and wreck of the 10 sails starting at 5:45. In Northside, pickups are at the Chisholm store and the soccer field starting at 6:15. In Boddentown, pickups are at Lorna's gas station at 6:45, and in Savannah, pickups at the gas station next to Wendy's at 7 p.m. They look forward to seeing everyone on Tuesday, October 15th at 7:30 p.m. at the Seafarers Hall.
The Pirates Week National Song Competition is back Saturday, November 9th. This exciting cultural event showcases the best talent in the Cayman Islands with $10,000 in cash to be won. If you've got the lyrical and vocal skills, visit piratesweekfestival.com to enter today. Entry deadline Friday, 18th October. The Pirates Week National Song Competition is sponsored by AI Rentals, Ace Hardware, the Ministry of Culture, the Tourism Attraction Board, and the Cayman Music and Entertainment Association. This ad is brought to you by Radio Cayman.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And I had that last segment for those who were able to catch the Older Prince Month segment. Truly was a memorable segment. Remember that segment for a long time to come. Mr. John, Miss Beulah, and Mr. Mac. Some great people right there. And now in studio, we have Miss Felicia McLean from Jasmine. How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you so much.
You're all bubbly. I love it.
Yes.
Now, we just had your mom in studio, sitting literally in the exact same seat. So by sheer fate, you went for the same seat.
I know.
I know.
I think that's a good thing, though.
It is.
My mom is awesome.
She is awesome. You know, we had a caller that called in while we were on break from the last show, and the comment was that she wanted to know who the lady was that was talking on the radio and giving such amazing advice and speaking so powerfully, and it was your mom. It was Miss Beulah, and making some very powerful statements. She made some quotes that I'm going to never forget. Nature abhors a vacuum is one of the statements I'm going to remember for a long time, and it's just how we cope and adjust and adapt to changing scenarios in our life. And very powerful, but anyhow, that's not why we're here now. We're here to talk about Jasmine.
Yes.
Now, you have been at Jasmine, I think you're saying, for 14 years.
Correct, yeah.
So you've seen a lot of changes, a lot of developments and the new facilities. How's all that going?
It is going amazing. We cannot stop singing the praise of the community who facilitated the build Jasmine Villa. We're very blessed to have government do our duty waivers, but the rest of the money to raise and to build that beautiful building was based on the community's heart to give to us. So we are very, very grateful because the building, if you haven't come and see it, you should see it. It's amazing. It's you walk in the door and there's a spirit of calmness, a spirit that welcomes you. That's just kind of like you can take a breath, you can breathe. And it's just so homely that you want to stay there. You kind of feel like you're at home when you walk through the door. So I'm very blessed to work there every day. And we've come a long way in our community in general of who we are and what we do. And we continue to kind of change with the society and the times. I mean, back when Cayman Hospice Care started, people didn't know what it meant to have comfort care at the home in the sense of hospice care. And so this initiative was started. But as we've gone through the last 20 years, we realized that the word hospice was very limiting because people kind of saw us as just for the end and not necessarily the journey. And so the birth of Jasmine and the rebrand came in about hoping that people would understand that it's more about the journey while you're still alive than the very end, because there's very little that we can do if we come in the last week or two before someone passes versus if we're involved in their care from the chronic illness, the inception or the ups and downs with their symptom management through their disease process to really get to know them, for them to know their options, and for them to have the best quality of life, which is really what we have always been about, quality of life. So it's amazing. We keep journeying and changing and trying to meet the needs of the people in the Cayman Islands.
That's very, just like your mom said it, very beautifully said. That's a very, you could see the lineage here coming out. Now, with regards to the sponsors and the donors and the private funding that came together, were there any notable figures that really came together to help raise the funds to make this all happen?
For sure. We would not have even dreamed this was possible if it wasn't for Derek Haynes. He kick-started the initiative 6 for 6 Hospice, which he ran 6 marathons in 1 year to raise $1 million. And he was very blessed by the community's support and raised $1.3 million. And he did it with the support of Rotary as being his hub for that, which we're thankful to the Rotarians. We're thankful to Derek Haynes. John Doak did the drawings for the architectural drawings for free. DART gave us the land for free, free and clear. So there have been many, and there are lots of people who did in-kind donations at cost with building facilities so that we were able to build it within the funds that we had. So we stayed under budget in building this building. And so that's something amazing. There was no loans with the bank. There's nothing else owed on it. We've got solar systems that are continuing to be put in place, but that should help us with cost. We've done our best to build the facility that we needed with the funds that we had so that we could bless the community.
And as far as the continuation of the facility running and the funds needed to make that happen, how are you raising those funds?
That is my challenge. We've been, like I said, blessed for the last 20 years for the community, and we have to increase our awareness of who we are and what we do to really not only use the facility, but as you said, continue to run the facility. We've done our best to minimize extended costs so that it'll be affordable, but that being said, we still have to have lots of other initiatives starting, and one of them is, weirdly enough, a Journey for Jasmine initiative that we're coming up with, where we would like to have people start to partner with us in giving monthly or yearly in that, sustainable giving, not just supporting a particular event that we have. So they'll see more, hear more about that going forward, because that's really what we need to move towards. But in part of that, we also have to help explain to people more about the journey and the reason for Jasmine, because there were a lot of people like me like, why would you change? I mean, we know who Cayman Hospice Care is. We give money because it's hospice. But it was more than about just getting the money. It was also about reaching the clients that we wanted to reach. We had families with young moms who were fighting to stay alive, and they felt if they accepted hospice help that they were giving up. But then they omitted having the support from the hospice staff, the team that understands, how to talk to children about a serious illness, how to talk to families, what to prepare for in the event that we don't get the desire we want, which is to live forever or to not die at that point in time. And it was a hindrance. We were not getting people to accept it. Doctors would say, we referred the patient, but they're not ready yet. And it's not about being ready yet, because it's not about the end. It's about the journey. It's like if I was going to the doctor and I saw my GP and he said I had a broken bone, he would call in the specialist, which would be the orthopedic doctors, to help with that. Similarly, so if you have a chronic illness that has a likelihood of ending your life sooner than it should have, you want the palliative team. That's who we are. That's what we do. We also do very good end-of-life care, but that's for that part if you transition to that stage. It doesn't mean that's all that we do. So, hence the Jasmine, hence the need for more.
It's a very somber topic. No one ever wants to, and kind of a good thing that your segments come on right after the Older Persons Month segment. Not that we bridged that topic there, but this does segue naturally over when we start talking about that journey. And we were talking about really changing people's perception and changing the cultural mindset on what the end kind of means, right?
Mm-hmm.
There I am using the language you don't want me to use, as it is going with the end scenario, because it is that journey element, and it's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow, talking about that journey, and no one wants to ever have to engage in that conversation.
Yep.
Right. So
but the weird thing is that the sooner we embrace it, the less scary it is. It's like anything. It's if you think that there is a monster behind the door, you're more scared if you never open that door to make sure there's not a monster there than if you open the door and you are reassured that what it is you're actually dealing with. You know, hiding from it, denial is not going to stop whatever's coming from coming. It simply leaves you afraid because you don't know of the unknown. And we'll never know what's going to happen to us in life. But like I like to use this analogy all the time. If I was going to build a house, I don't sell my house before the next one is built. I kind of time it correctly, but I know that I'm planning for this while I'm still ensuring I have a roof over my head. So we're doing both at the same time. We're juggling like we do everything in life. This is what I got given. In case it goes this way, this is how I'm going to deal with it. And I'm preparing. And we'll be far better consumers in our environment and people and functioning if we plan for both. You know what I mean?
I do. No, it's not. And I don't think. I think everybody listening truly understands what you mean. Accepting, like it's great to say that you want to open that closet and kick that monster in the throat.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way of looking at it. You just want to tackle it and take it down. Then when it comes down to actually making that move to open that door handle, it's a tough one. It's a cultural, not even cultural. It's just a natural.
It's a natural one. It's all around the world.
It is, and I think the whole wellness movement that we've seen. I mean, while there's a lot of good that's come from that wellness movement, I think a lot of it is trying to stall when you have to make that handle turn. And so if you can focus on the wellness side now, you can maybe add on 10 more years if you have to make that journey turn on the closet to fight that monster. And
for sure,
but at the end of the day.
Yeah, but even not at the end of the day. I mean, we casually in my house, maybe because I work in the area that I work on. I mean, death, dying, part of life. My kids, ask me all the time, what's going on. On
the wellness initiative, we have our crew doing squats in the background as they heard the segment.
Yes, very, very energetic, much more than I am. But, we talk about death and dying in our house all the time. And my husband actually jokes with me and says, I'm not allowed to be his significant, other person making the decision. Because if he coughs too hard, I'm going to be like, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
You're in.
You're in. But at least it opens the door to have the conversation. It doesn't have to be a scary thing. It's kind of, if you joke about it and you bring, you just make it a part of the conversation a little bit. Every so often, you'll have some idea of what you want to have and you've thought about it. Not when you're in that office and you've gotten the bad news and now it's like, I don't even want to go there. Long before you have that, have some idea, have those funny conversations about it, just because the what ifs, because that's the world we live in and we just never know.
You just never know. I empathize, whether it's empathy or sympathy, I'm still confused right now, but with your husband right now. At the slightest cough, he's going, trust me, it was just a cough.
It's just a cough. It's just a cough.
On that note, let's take a quick short break. When we come back, we'll be hearing more about your upcoming event, Voices Around the World. Be back with more talk today right after this.
Wow, looks good. What is that?
Chicken share.
What did you just say to me?
Chicken share.
I am not a chicken
Whoa! I said chicken share. It's from KFC. Bucket of 12 hot wings, 6 pieces of chicken, or 8 tenders. KFC chicken share. Just $12 each.
Oh.
Want some chicken, tenders, or hot wings?
You're sharing your chicken share with me?
The new chicken share from KFC, just $12 each, and it's finger-licking good. Dine at KFC Baytown Plaza, KFC Shedden Road, or KFC at the Strand.
Can you imagine where Cayman runs off renewable energy? We can. Learn how you can join government and be an energy advocate.
Visit the Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure's Facebook page to learn more.
As a Caymanian, it's very important to me that projects like this are thought of thoroughly before continuing.
My question is, do we need it? And I've not yet been fully convinced that we need it, nor have I been fully convinced that we don't need it. So
what guarantee do we have that these ships are going to continue to come?
Please make the right decision.
Please don't let the catchy songs overturn you. Please support the referendum. Please ensure that you are supporting sustainable tourism, not just money-making tourism.
If the project plans have changed, even though it might be insignificant on paper, it's going to be significant for the environment.
They need to release official information, official facts.
That's where I am right now. I want to know, I want more information on do we need it.
It's your vote, your future.
So make a decision based on facts.
You deserve the whole truth.
The results confirmed that it is super easy for teens to get an e-cigarette. And among the teens who reported that they use e-cigarettes, 12% of them say their friends use it as well. 76.3% of over 3,000 teens said that their parents have had the conversation with them about drugs and alcohol. I bet you're wondering how I know all of this. Well, me and over 3,000 teens did a drug survey at school in 2018, and the results are directly from us, your teens.
Know the facts. Contact the National Drug Council and learn about the Parents as Preventers training. This message was brought to you by the National Drug Council and Radio Cayman.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. So we have in the studio Miss Felicia from Jasmine, here to discuss the Voices Around the World initiative or event. So Miss Jasmine, Miss Felicia, I'm sorry, that's twice. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Tell us all about Voices Around the World.
So basically, Voices Around the World happens around the world. Normally, it's last weekend, Friday, that they would have a simultaneous event everywhere in the world celebrating Hospice and Palliative Care Day. Unfortunately, due to scheduling stuff, we had to plan ours for this weekend, but the same concept goes. We're basically celebrating with them with a musical event that's going to have the National Choir, the National Orchestra, the Singh a cappella group, and Miss Jackie's Company of Dance will be there to put on a show for all that decide to come out. It'll be a musical delight, pretty much, a little bit of everything. Okay. So your genre, things that you can join in and sing along with and just kind of enjoy music and in general for an evening. And we're doing it 2 nights, Thursday as well as Friday, and it starts at 7 p.m. at the Harkwell Theatre. It promises to not disappoint. I mean, I've seen their lineup of stuff, and I'm already wanting to stand up and sing and jump.
Well, I was going to ask you about the lineup. Is the lineup tailored to the Jasmine cause in any way?
Not really. I mean, okay. I will steal it with one, and I think there's We Are the World kind of thing. So a little bit, but not really. Right. It's more along of slightly contemporary, some of the historic bigger ones that you can kind of just like brings out memories and happiness, and kind of like you'll want to sing and tap along and that kind of stuff. And so, and you're welcome to do that as well. So it'll be a night of enjoyment because you don't just get one type of singing. Like I said, you're going to have the orchestra, and then you're going to have the stingrays. We have 2 a cappella people as well that are singing. So it's going to be amazing. It looks. I'm excited. I can't wait to see it on Thursday.
And how long is the show?
I think it runs for 2 hours. It does have an intermission.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll be out of there in 2 hours. But it promises not to disappoint.
And that's Thursday and Friday at 7 o'clock at the Harkwell. And tickets are?
Tickets are $30 for adults and $10 for children under the age of 18. And we've made it easy for everyone because, you know, we're all tech savvy and we all don't have any time to go somewhere to pick up a ticket. So they're available on eventpro.ky. Or you can swing by our office 8:30 to 4:30 and you get a double whammy because you can buy your tickets and see our beautiful facility. If you decide to 8:30 to 4:30 Monday to Friday, we're there. Grab your tickets or just jump online and grab them. Grab them sooner rather than later, especially if you have a particular day you'd rather come out to.
And where, for those who may not know, where is the facility for Jasmine?
It is off of West Bay Road behind Coconut Joe's. So you'll see the banners. They're a little bit faded now, but you can still see them. It's that new road that's been built right after Coconut Joe's, almost across from Plantation kind of thing. Plantation Village, I think it is, it's called. And it's right down there, tucked away. We're the only place in there. So once you drive down that beautifully paved road, you will see our beautiful home. And it is amazing. It's just a little haven. We see the Cayman Parrots fly by my window every day. It really feels like home.
That's quite nice.
It is very nice.
That is very nice. So tickets are available on eventpro.ky / voices for hospices.
Mm-hmm.
Or they can email info@jasmine.ky if they have any information,
Mm-hmm.
or call 945-7447. And number of sponsors you've had lined up for this initiative.
We would not be able to do it without Butterfield, Kensington Group, LNA, and Not Your Standard was our media, marketing person that did all of our marketing for this. We're very grateful because they did that complete donation for us. And we would not be able to host the event and make it happen and rent the facility and stuff without these sponsors. So we're very grateful that yet again these sponsors came on board to allow us to offer this to the community.
That's great.
And also to raise the money, like you mentioned. We do have ongoing operation costs, unlike some nonprofits that have, pretty much saved their money and then, give it to other people. We pay for the nurses' services and the caregivers to be able to go there. So we have a high overhead because of that. But that directly relates to the care that the person's going to get. So basically it might feel like you're paying an administration cost, but it really is hands-on care, support, education that family member and that patient will receive by the donation that's given. So the more that we raise, the more we can do and the more we can continue to do in the Cayman Islands.
Now, just to be very clear, this is a fundraiser event for Jasmine to help with your operational costs.
Correct. Yeah, it definitely funds raised goes going to Jasmine so that we can continue to offer the services. So we need everyone to come out and support. We need everyone to purchase a ticket. It'll be worthwhile. Like I said, I like these kind of events as well. I mean, I like selling raffle tickets and stuff, and you might win a prize. But this one, it doesn't matter whether you win or you lose. You're going to win because you've come out and had a good evening. So bring your family. It doesn't have to be you, or make it a date night for you and your husband, whatever the case may be, and just come and enjoy something. We don't have these kind of things in Cayman all the time with musical events, and so take advantage of it. Come on out.
No, absolutely. Now, I'm not sure how comfortable or how much you can go into the cost of running the facility like Jasmine, but they are a high cost. At the end of the day, you're a medical facility to a large part, as much as the quality care that you're offering outside of just the medical scope. Are you comfortable sharing the cost of running a facility like Jasmine?
Currently, we're at about $2,000 a day.
A
day to run. And this is still being calculated because of the new facility.
Of course.
We have had patients in our villa since we've moved in. We have 4 inpatient rooms, private rooms. And since we've gotten there, we've had 8 patients in the 6 months we've been open. And that cost continues to fluctuate because before in the past, with our operations, we didn't have as many patients interested in our inpatient unit that we had at the time. And so we're continuing to evaluate over the next couple of months exactly what the cost increase has been since the new facility.
Well, it's a tremendous amount necessary to run. Is there plans in the future to expand the facility to have greater volume of beds or rooms?
John Doak was very good. He did the room in a way where the facility that it could double. So where our admin could become 4 more rooms if we decided to expand, and we would build an office admin on this property on the side corner. So it has the ability to expand. Right now, no plans for expansion, but we have the ability to.
And so we're looking at roughly $2,000 a day, and all that's coming from
the community.
And how we can create funds. Now, outside of the Voices Around the World, which is an important one, this is again Thursday, October 17th and 18th. What are the other fundraising initiatives you do have lined up again?
Other ones that are coming up is the Christmas card kind is gone. It sounds weird because it's Christmas hasn't come yet, but we had that happening. We'll have our Light Up a Life Remembrance service in December. And that's one where people can come out. It's not really fully a fundraiser. It's much more of a remembrance event. But because people make a donation to remember their loved one, the extra funds still help. It's like, in memory of kind of donations. And then as January starts off, we're back to back with Burns Night, which is in January. And then Voices Flag Day, which is February. And then our big bash that happens in April, May. So they'll be then back to back come the new year. But right now, after this, it's just our remembrance service in December.
Okay. That's fantastic. So again, walk us through the Voices Around the World event is
Thursday and Friday. So Thursday the 17th, 7 o'clock, or Friday the 18th, 7 o'clock, Harkwell Theater. And adults are $30. Children under the age of 18 are $10. And you can get your ticket for yourself on eventpro.ky, or you can swing by our office, which is off of West Bay Road behind Coconut Joe's. And you're going to have a night of happiness, I should say. Basically, the National Choir, the National Orchestra, Stingray's a cappella group, Miss Jackie's Company of Dancers, and much, much more. So definitely come and enjoy the night with us. It should be amazing.
Thank you. And again, a big shout out to all of the sponsors who have supported the Voices Around the World event, from Butterfield Bank, Kensington, LNA, and Not Your Standard Marketing Company.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Miss Felicia.
Yes.
I did not make that mistake again. I got it right. Thank you so much for coming in, and all the best with the upcoming event this Thursday and Friday. Well, I got Miss Susan in the background saying we got a few more minutes here, so you know what? We'll take advantage of those few more minutes. Yeah,
for sure.
Come on, what else you got for us?
What else do I got for you guys?
There's got to be more. I thought we were closer on time, but we're not. We got 3 minutes to fill.
3 minutes.
Now you're on the spot.
Now I'm in the spot. Yeah, no, I just wanted to continue to thank our community, because it is because of the community and its support over the last 20 years that we have gotten to have a Jasmine facility, that we've come this far, and we are groundbreaking within the Caribbean for having a facility of this magnitude in that regards. But we can't stop there. As much as I'd like to say thank you, we need to keep it going. We need to continue to grow it. There's a room in our facility, our community room, which we're planning to kickstart our lunch club and like our day programs, like a morning tea or afternoon bingo session and different things, where our shut-in community, the older people or those with chronic illnesses that can't get out, or bereaved family members, could actually come and enjoy those kind of things at our facility. So it's something to keep your eye out for. Because eventually we'll have like a calendar going through our website that allow people to know what's happening when. It might be an art morning, or it might be a musical afternoon. We're going to put lots and lots of things on in that community room so that the community comes alive and people can really have something to do.
And that was the lunch club you mentioned?
Lunch club is when it's in the community room. It'll be in our community room space that we have in that facility.
That's for the members who are at Jasmine, or the people who are at Jasmine, or for a family to come in from the community and have a place to...
Both. So we have a lot of bereaved family members. So an elderly person might have lost their husband or their wives, and then they're home basically, and they don't have much to do. In our community, we don't really have a lot for them. So with that in mind, we wanted to have something that they could come to, because they'll also still help. Let's just say there's someone with Alzheimer's that comes up with their caregiver. Having that other person that's a bereaved family member talk with them, it's its own kind of therapeutic benefits in that regards of just having someone to talk to, look forward to, something to do. And so we look forward to growing the program where people in the community, as well as our patients, whether they're in the community from home care or in our facility, could benefit from having those moments of just togetherness, time to do something else, just respite in general. And so Lunch Club, the Pink Ladies are happy to get involved and come and help out with that. And we have lots of volunteers that do like Reiki, stretch classes, different things. It's going to be quite a full calendar when it all comes together.
So where do you, I'm assuming people come and volunteer their initiatives willingly.
Yes.
It's not like you have to go out and, so to speak, shop around for volunteers.
No,
you got a helping hand coming in.
Yeah, people come all the time looking for something to do. A lot of people want to give back, and that's like the way the world continues to go around. I help you, you help me, we continue to help forward and help someone else later on. So we're very blessed that there are people that have specialties like counseling or yoga or massage or whatever, and they'll come and say, we can give an hour a week or whatever the case may be, and then we try to use them accordingly. Sometimes they visit our patients in the home, but we're also looking to expand it where they could come then to the facility and have this kind of group yoga session or an afternoon tea, like I said, or bingo day. And people could look for different things that work and fit for them. So if we have a array of things, people can decide what fits for them and they can come and just kind of have a moment.
It's an impressive scenario. Now, if someone does want to volunteer their services, do they need any kind of special certifications or outside of their specific discipline?
It depends on what they are, but normally just fill out the form. There's two types of volunteers, our fundraising volunteers and then our patient care volunteers. And then we go from there. We'll do a training with them, and the patient volunteers have more training. And then it depends on what they are. So if they're a certified yoga therapist and they want to do that, then that's kind of where they fit into us, and we just kind of work like that.
This may sound like an odd one. I'm just my own personal curiosity. Does Jasmine have any outreach initiatives when it comes to youth groups? I know that might be a touchy one, bridging two very different worlds, but...
Yeah, we don't yet. We have the program for it, like the framework for that program where we reach the youth and the youth then come in with the older people. But because we didn't have a facility and they had to go to people's homes, it made it a bit more tricky because of, confidentiality and space and, that kind of stuff. So the plan is when we have people at the facility, then that's the time when we could create one of those where the youth groups could come in and help out that kind and kind of grow it from there, because there are frameworks already in place in other parts of the world where they use youth to come in and, maybe do video people's stories and their life stories and different things. It's amazing how you can help the youth to grow and help the elderly at the same time, or someone that's not well. So it's all a part of that. So
absolutely. All right, so now I'm getting the wave the opposite way. Miss Susan saying, it's time, get off the air. On that note, no, she didn't say that. On that note, Miss Felicia, thank you so much again for coming in. All the best with the Voices Around the World event.
Thank you.
And reach out to us if you ever need any further assistance. You have a very noble cause that I think everybody in this community would 100% support.
Yeah, we're very grateful for their support, and I look forward to seeing everyone at Voices for Hospice on Thursday or Friday night.
That's great, Ms. Susan. Thank you so much. Thank you again. And thank you again to all of our loyal listeners. On that note, let's take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we will be meeting with the Cayman Islands Agricultural Society. Be back with more talk today right after this.
Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
The National Council of Voluntary Organizations is set to be on a major campaign. This year, the telethon will be held on October 19th at the Prospect Playhouse from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. As always, Radio Cayman will be broadcasting the event live. New this year, the NCVO telethon will also be on all Hurley's media radio stations, as well as Cayman Live TV on Logic 33. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. Syria's army has started to reach the north of the country, hours after the government agreed to help Kurdish forces facing Turkey. State media said government forces, which are backed by Russia, had entered the strategic town of Taltama, 19 miles south of the Turkish border. The deal came after the U.S., the Kurds' main ally, said it would withdraw its remaining troops from northern Syria. And a newborn baby girl has been discovered buried alive in northern India, a local police chief there has revealed. Abhinandan Singh told reporters the baby was found by a villager who was burying his own daughter who had died minutes after birth. The baby girl, who had been placed inside an earthen pot about 3 feet below the ground, was rushed to hospital where she is recovering. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands. What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And we've had a very enlightening, very entertaining show, meeting with three of our 4 ambassadors for Older Persons Month, and then recently just having in Miss Felicia from Jasmine in regards to their upcoming fundraiser event for their facility, a very noble initiative here in Cayman. And now we have in studio Mr. George Smith, president of the Cayman Islands Agricultural Society. Good afternoon, Mr. George.
Good afternoon, Raymond. How are you doing?
We're doing great. Last time we spoke, I believe, was in Cayman Brac for the agriculture show last year, or earlier this year, rather.
Yes, earlier this year.
And, I will say this, I'm going to say it, apologize live on the air. We lost that recording of our interview right after we did the interview, and I felt so bad afterwards. I wanted to go find you and apologize, because it was just a great interview we got with you on the state of local agriculture, and so I'm going to apologize to you formally for the first time live on the air on that one.
Not a problem. That means you owe us one for 2020.
There we go. I owe you an extra bonus interview for next year. So we're here talking about cattle today. Talk to us a bit about what's going on with with all this. I know it's a big initiative we heard about briefly last year, and walk us through what's going on.
Basically, the Cayman Islands government, the Ministry of Education, Youth, Sports, Agriculture and Land, they funded some funds for us to import cattle because our stock was going down, and the cattle is here now. So basically what we are here to talk about is that the sale is coming up this Saturday, the 19th at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Now, when we talk about the cattle that's coming in, so I understand, is this cattle for meat or cattle for breeding, or what is the cattle for milk? What are we actually talking about when it comes to cattle?
Okay. because of the limited space on the ships, we had to do it in 3 phases.
Okay.
So the first 2 phases is going to be cattle for breeding purposes.
Okay.
Then the third phase is going to be cattle for meat purposes.
Okay.
All right. So basically, the first 2 sets is going to be female heifers, which is pregnant.
Yep.
And then the third one is going to be the bulls.
Okay.
For the meat.
Okay. So, and these are impregnated already, these cattle coming in?
Yes.
Walk us a bit about because I know when I think agriculture, my first thought is planting seeds and raising a crop. We're now talking about the other side of the coin, which is the meat production side of the agricultural industry. So walk us through how this process works. These cattle are impregnated overseas and then shipped in?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the 60 head of cattle that is coming in, females, they have been embryo transplanted with the black Japanese Wagyu breed.
Okay.
So basically what we're trying to achieve is that when we bring in these cattle and we cross them with our local cattle, we should, and the end result should be that we would have a better end product.
Okay. So stronger, more viral.
Well, the beef should be better.
Okay.
So because, like, for example, if you go to a high-end restaurant in New York and you order a hamburger with the Japanese Wagyu beef, that burger can cost you $150, $200.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And what we are saying is that we are introducing that breed with ours now. So that, maybe 3-4 years down the road, our end product should be definitely better beef. So we're going to produce better beef because we are introducing better genetics.
Of course.
With our locals.
All right. So what type of cows are actually being brought in? 'Cause the cows are impregnated with the Japanese
Black Wagyu.
Black Wagyu. I'm going to mess that up a few times. The Japanese cattle.
Yes.
The Japanese cow?
Yep.
Okay. So what are the types of cows that are actually being brought in that are impregnated with this Japanese cow?
Okay. We have a cross of a Charolais and Angus.
Okay.
And another cross with a Hereford. So basically it's a 3-way. The cows is going to be Charolais crossed with Angus, or Charolais crossed with Hereford, or Angus crossed with Hereford.
And all have been impregnated with the Japanese?
Yes, all of them.
Okay. And as far as the differences in the Charolais and the Angus and the Hereford, what are those differences?
Well, the Charolais, as far as I'm concerned, the Charolais is more of a muscular breed, which puts more weight on the animal. Okay. And if you're a farmer, you definitely want to have more weight because that's what you're selling it by.
They sell it by the way. Yeah.
Angus, like everyone in the world should know by now, they've been, I guess, promoted probably the best. And
that was their trick, right? Their trick was not actually in the product; it was in the marketing of the product.
Yeah, exactly. and definitely, I mean, the beef is up there also. So when we looked at it, we said, okay, if we brought in something that could handle our climate with, superior beef qualities and the weight, and then you cross it with our local breeds, then definitely the end product should be better.
Yes.
So that's the whole concept behind it.
Of course.
Because, I mean, sometimes, it's easy to say, well, why didn't you bring in a full-bred Angus, for example? If we had brought in a full-bred Angus, it cannot handle the climate in the Cayman Islands. When I say that is, the average day in Cayman is
85,
90.
Yeah, 85, 90 degrees.
And the Angus is not built for that. But if you cross it, it can handle it. So that's what we have done. We have crossed it. Just like most cattle on the island, they're crossed.
They're crossed,
yeah,
in some way. And so that's all 60 of the calves that are going to be born in January.
Yes.
The calves will be born in January?
They'll start calving in January, yes.
Okay. All those calves will be a hybrid mix of the Japanese Wagyu.
Yes.
And
they're going to be full.
And they're full.
Because remember, embryo is just the cows that is coming now, they're just carrying the babies.
Correct.
So the calves that they're carrying is full.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the goal then is to have, now the Japanese Wagyu is adaptable to this climate?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the goal, is to actually have, going forward, pretty much consistent population of the Japanese Wagyu.
Well, And we'll cross it with most farmers on the island. They'll have maybe the Senepal, because the Senepal really adapts really good to the climate. So when you look, they will probably cross the Senepal with the Japanese to get the size, and then the Japanese is going to give you the marbling traits that you're looking for in the beef. Yeah.
Is there, just for my own personal understanding, so that's 60 of the cows being brought in. They're going to eventually be crossbred with the current local population of cows. Is there going to be a goal to maintain a stream of population of the Japanese Wagyu for future breeding purposes?
Yeah, because basically how the money was issued to us is that it's going to be like seed money. So basically after we sell these animals, we're going to go again. So we're going to bring a different breed again, right, after the set.
Okay.
And then so basically what we are actually doing now is sort of starting our identification program and our breeding program. So basically you're going to have different associations. You'd have the Angus Association, you're going to have the Charolais Association, maybe you're going to have the Wagyu Association.
Okay.
So that's what's going to happen from there on.
That's what's going to actually work there. Interesting. And that's just the first 60. Now, the latter 30 of these cows coming in, these will be strictly for meat production?
Not necessarily. They're it's a little confusing.
No, by all means.
What happened? Okay, normally we would have purchased steers for meat purposes, right?
Okay.
But
steers
are bulls that has been castrated.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we found it's very difficult to find a bull in the U.S. When I say that is, if you go to a ranch and you see a bull, that bull is going to run you starting at least $3,500 upward, because they're going to keep him as a breeding bull, right? So basically, when we purchased these animals, we were planning to purchase the steers, but the price was almost the same as this particular farmer. He had bulls and he had steers. So what we said is, okay, the steers is for one purpose only. If we purchase the bulls, the bulls can be used as more than one purpose.
Of course.
Because we have quite a lot of local farmers that does not use the artificial insemination program. But if they have a bull that is no family to their animals, then at the end of the day, we are moving forward. Even though we're sort of having it open where they can still kill these animals, but we are hoping that, like, say for example, myself, if I had a bull that was 6 years old, I most likely had his daughter, his granddaughter, and maybe his son in my herd. So what I would probably do is get rid of my bull that I currently have and introduce a bull that is no family at all to my herd.
Of course.
So then at the end of the day, I think that's the way to move forward. Plus using the Department of Agriculture's artificial insemination program.
Now, the DOA's artificial insemination program, what types of cows are they inseminating?
I mean, put it this way, it's like I'm looking through a magazine. You can get any breed you want.
Anything you want.
But basically what they're trying to do is, they try to get breeds that is adaptable to our climate also.
Okay.
So that's the plus.
Now, with the Japanese Wagyu, am I saying that correctly again?
Yep.
Okay, so make sure, because excuse me, with that program, given the high value associated with that beef product, will we see a greater volume of those now? Since we're having 60 calves in the new year coming forth, will we see the higher quality beefs now entering the market and garnishing a higher price tag? Are we going to see, or how is that all going to work out in the end if we're talking about the higher end beef?
No, well, what we have, the government insisted that the beef prices cannot go up. Okay, they definitely, that was a plus that they said, yes, we're gonna give you this grant, but we had to come to agreement that the price cannot go up. So basically,
the price of the beef.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so the cattle that's coming in now, they cannot be sold for no more than $1.65 per pound.
Okay.
Okay, that was the agreement. And they cannot be slaughtered. The heifers, which is pregnant, they cannot be slaughtered for 5 years.
So how many breeding cycles will that be then?
So that will probably be about 4.
About 4 breeding cycles.
Yep.
So we're looking at this population of cows becoming roughly 240, possibly more.
Exactly.
And then that generation can then be used for beef.
Yeah, because the importation is unsustainable.
Of course.
I mean, what it costs you to import, you know, when you got to quarantine, testing,
of course,
trucking, it's beyond. So
we need
basically,
to go farm that ourselves.
Yeah, and that's the whole concept. And that's part of trying to make the island become a little bit more self-sustainable.
Of course.
So that's at least the first step towards that.
And how many of these will be on the brack? How many of these?
That's why we are on here. Basically, it is open to anyone that wants to purchase, because we are trying to encourage people to get into farming.
Yep.
So it is not restricted to just the agriculture members. It's open to anyone from Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman. Anyone that's on the island that is interested can come up there on Saturday.
That's great. And how much? Actually, you know what? Let's take a quick commercial break. I have a lot more questions for you.
Sure.
Let's take a quick commercial break, and then we have one caller on the line. Okay. On that note, let's take a quick commercial break. Back with more talk today, right after this.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Congratulations, I hear the family is expanding.
Yes, our family is growing bigger, but I don't know how we're going to get around. Our old car just doesn't have enough room.
You should head over to Vamp Motors and ask about the Toyota Rush. It's a 7-seater SUV with lots of room and safety features, and it's on sale for just $21,900.
Rush in to Vamp Motors for the best deal of the year on the Toyota Rush SUV. Save up to $2,600 with Vamp cashback and the Toyota factory rebate going on right now. Fuel efficient, stylish, roomy, and loaded with safety features. The Rush is the perfect SUV for you and your family, starting from just $21,900. Visit Vamp Motors and drive your deal home today while stock lasts. Sometimes things just don't go as planned. That's why you need Contractors All Risk Insurance from Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Ensure you're covered in the event of property damage and third-party injury or damage claims during your construction projects. And with Fidelity Insurance Brokers, you can be sure you are getting competitive pricing and superior customer service. Call us today for a free quote. Fidelity, we're good for you.
RC Fusion featuring Billboard's pop hit songs and more from the 70s to the 90s.
RC Fusion.
Weekdays from 10 a.m. till 12. RC Fusion, brought to you by Merengue Town. Take a walk on the wild side. It's time to feel the rhythm, time to feel the vibes. It's time for Merengue Town. RC Fusion.
RC Fusion.
RC Fusion.
Brought to you by Tasty Patties. Baked fresh every 30 minutes. Available at Tortuga locations, the Patty Express Industrial Park, and Bake It and Take It on Eastern Avenue. Get tasty now. Yar. Brought to you by Pirates Week, the Cayman Islands National Festival. Celebrating 42 years of fantasy, history, and fun.
RC Fusion.
Brought to you by Nathan General Maintenance and Construction. You break it, they fix it. Call the General for a free quote. 917-7586.
RC Fusion.
I've got some beautiful clothes
I know just where they go, Puritan Cleaners.
Puritan Cleaners, serving the Cayman Islands for over 60 years. Take advantage of this fall special from now until 31st October, offering owners special 12% off all prepaid orders, $20 and up on all household items, plus ladies and gents apparel. This offer is good at all our stores. Savannah Countryside, 946-1884. Elgin Avenue, Georgetown, 949-2452. Eastern Avenue, Georgetown, 949-7104. Drive-through, rain or shine. Puritan Cleaners. You feel good when you look good.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for the tail end of our show, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And we have in studio Mr. George Smith from the Cayman Islands Agricultural Society, here talking about the upcoming sale of the cows that have recently been brought in with the assistance of the Cayman Islands government. And we do have one caller on the line. Good afternoon, caller.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How can we help you today?
Yes, I will listen to the conversation, and I hear your guests were mentioning that the cost of steers they're bringing imported from the U.S. is quite expensive. What about importing steers or cows or live cattle from Central America, like Honduras or Mexico or Argentina or those other places? I'm a Caymanian. I currently have 230 acres in Honduras, and I got cows. I got 250 cows at the moment, and they're all grass-fed. And but we can't import none of that because the government got a law banning all livestock or enemy products coming from Central America. If government could lift that ban, you could get quality cows that has the permits and all the right the breed and the quality for half the price. So why government don't look into that?
Well, I think just to answer the question you asked is, I think that they're actually looking into it. But the problem that they had before was that Honduras had foot and mouth disease also. And if you notice what happened in the European countries, most of them, they basically slaughtered all of their animals that had foot and mouth, right? Honduras didn't do that. So basically what Honduras done is they treated their animals. So that means that the disease is still dormant. And that's the reasons. And I know that Honduras was actually doing some new tests with the U.S. And if they was to be passed, then I think that's what the government was looking at.
Okay, because I currently goes I got 230 acres. I'm currently there, and I go to Honduras probably 6 times for the year to give my cows vitamins and treat them and spray them. We don't give them antibiotics, and we don't give them no hormones or nothing like that. And we grass feed them. We don't give them no pellets. We don't give them no artificial feeders. Like I see agriculture department selling pedigree cow feed in the pellets and stuff like that. We don't give them cows that. They drink from natural running river water, and they raise on naturally growing grass. And I think I see the cows here on the island and both, and I see some cows with all 2,000 pounds and ridiculous amount of weight, and they have no grass. Like especially if you go down some grass pieces down East End, they got 20, 30 cows weighing over 1,000 pounds, and they're not going to grass. If you look on the area, it's mostly iron shore, in Maiden Plum around there, it's Silver Touch. I got cows, I got bulls, and when I grass fed them, there's no way I could make that type of weight just off of grass, even if when I mix the grass with molasses, or even add salt or give them a mineral ball to lick. So I think a lot of I don't really want to be disrespectful, but I think a lot of cows here is off the feed that they get from agriculture department is like they got a lot of growth hormones on them.
No, but just so you know, right? That the Department of Agriculture does not bring in no medicated feed at all. Okay, none. No medicated feed in the Cayman Islands, right? The cows, no steroids, right? But remember now, when you see an animal, for example, that he's 2,000 pounds, is at the end of the day is genetics again. You know, that's exactly what we are trying to achieve, where we produce a better end product, such as the beef. I mean, that is why when you go in the supermarket, for example, people go in the supermarket and they see the prettiest, the reddest piece of beef. That's not necessarily the best piece of beef that is there, right? So that's because of genetics now. That's the same thing why, like for example, the Angus has been marketed as it has been, but the product is really good. And I mean, anybody that goes to the supermarket and buy it, and they go home and they'll know the difference right away, right? So that's the whole thing. And the guys in East End and West Bay and everywhere else, I mean, the department also brings in quite a lot of hay. So what they're doing is they're feeding them. You know, of course they're using the bag feed because they're using supplements, all right? Similar to someone that goes to the gym, right? They're using supplements, but they're also using grass also. And the guys in East End, for example, and all over the Cayman Islands, they use banana trees, which is very supplemental to the cows. And that is why you see a cow up there, maybe 2,000 pounds.
Yeah, because in all my property, I tried all kind of things. I mean, but I stay away from the supplements or the bag feed in a concentrate. I just do strictly grass, and no matter if I even if I control the movement and I give them high protein grass like Cuba 22, I can't still be that way. So it was just a concern to me, like why government don't look into other areas besides America, because everything that we get on this island is come from America, and then and that why the cost of everything is so high. I know in Honduras why I could pay for one bull. In America, I could buy 10 of them, and it will come from the bloodline, like BH Ranch. BH Ranch is a popular ranch, and I got cows that I got the documents for that breed down. That I got bulls that come from the champion bulls.
Not to cut you, but if you notice, the Minister of Agriculture, the Honourable Juliana O'Connor Conley, and the Premier Stalin McLaughlin, they just signed an agreement with Jamaica also, and because Jamaica never had the foot and mouth like what Honduras had and them, right? So basically, if Honduras passes the requirements, then definitely I think that they are looking at ways to help the Cayman Islands become a little bit more self-sustainable and find cheaper ways to do business, you know. But at the same time, we don't want the Cayman Islands to become a dumping ground, you know, because I mean, you know, someone told me once, some people think food is just food, but it's a little bit more than that, you know. And we all know that sometimes people would use the island because we are importing everything almost as a dumping ground. So that's one of the things that we have to be so careful with, because if we import, let's just say, an animal that has a disease, I mean, being on the island 22 miles long, how long you think it would take before it wipes out everything that's here? That is why it's so important when they talk about, you know, that when you're bringing in a plant or something, we think that, you know, hiding the plant in our luggage, but do we know what is the disease that we're bringing in? And just go on the U.S. site, for example, and see how much Florida is paying per year on trying to eradicate pests. So I'm not saying that your animals don't have that. I'm not here saying that. Trust me, I'm all for anything that can enhance our people and enhance our product and our farmers. All right, let's get that clear. I'm all for that. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, we're on an island. We have to be very careful. And until they pass all of the requirements, then I think, you know, they probably wouldn't do business with them until then.
Caller, I know you raised actually some very good points, which I hope Mr. George has been able to address. However, I know you may have a few more questions. If we can ask you to leave your number with Miss Susan, we can pass it along to Mr. George to actually answer any of your questions after the show, only because we do have a few points we want to get over before the end of the show today. Thank you so much for calling in. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
George, we can take the conversation back to the sale on Saturday. During the break, we were talking about some of the requirements for people who are looking to buy the cattle this coming weekend.
Yes.
If you could walk through some of the requirements that will be on individuals, because this is an open purchase effort. Anybody from the Brack, Little Cayman, from the Grand can purchase these cows. Walk us through some of the requirements for buyers.
Well, basically, the sale will start 7 o'clock sharp at the Stacy Watler Pavilion. That is where the agriculture, for those who doesn't know where Stacy Watler Pavilion is, it's where the agriculture show happens every year. All right, so 7 o'clock.
The best show on the island.
Yeah, definitely the best show.
Best show on the island. Put that out there right now.
Okay. It's good that we got that behind us.
Yes, absolutely. I agree 100%.
All right. Basically, at 7 o'clock, we're going to meet there. We're going to go over all of the rules. Then we're going to go to the holding facility where the cattle is being held by the Department of Agriculture. Anyone that is interested, look at a number. The animals has tags in their ears. They go to the secretary with that particular number. They have 24 hours to pay for that animal. So basically, we know that Saturday 24 hours will not be Monday, but it will be extended till Monday. That person has to pay for that animal. If they don't come by Monday, basically that the animal will go back into the pool, and if there's 5 or 6 that's left over, then maybe the next week we'll have another sale.
Okay.
All right. So basically the animals, we'll give everyone that comes a sheet with a list of numbers, which identifies the animal by the air tag. They look at it, and whichever one they're interested in, like I said, they just go to the secretary and state that that's the one they're interested in.
Okay.
But there's some requirements behind this. Requirements is that you cannot kill the females within 5 years. Okay, so basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to start this program in a meaningful way, because we know that, for example, some animals you can bring in and you slaughter, which there will be time for all of that we will bring in more animals for slaughtering purposes only. But we're trying to get it where that every year the government doesn't have to try to find funds to help the farmer out, as to basically meeting the beef needs on the island. So that's the whole concept behind this. So 5 years that you cannot kill the females. If something happens that you are interested in killing that animal, then definitely someone from the Department of Agriculture, the veterinarian, and a member from the Agriculture Society Board will meet to discuss the issue. And if the veterinarian, say for example, if the animal broke a leg or something or fell in the well and got hurt, and the veterinarian said that he's going to recommend for that animal to be slaughtered, then definitely we would look at it from that point. But other than that, it's no slaughtering of the females. That's why I said earlier that the bulls that is coming in can be used for dual purposes, can be used to breed their remaining stock, or they can slaughter if they wish.
Okay.
But the bulls doesn't have any requirements.
The bulls don't have.
No stipulations on them.
And to confirm, the bulls are not on this current shipment.
No.
This will only be the females coming in.
Yes. And the reasons for the females, the first one is that they should be calving starting in the late January. So we are already in the middle of October. So basically, we didn't want to hackle them so close to them, because obviously they're getting bigger and bigger by the day.
Okay. One final question before we wrap up the show. Is there any requirement on breeding the females during those 5 years?
No.
Okay.
Basically, what we are aiming to do is that after we get X amount of females on the island, all right. Basically, we can definitely do the artificial insemination program, or we can start doing embryo transfers, because that's part of the discussions that we're having with these people that we purchased these animals from. When we were there, what was so impressive is that they were embryoing the animals at the time.
Okay.
And, sometimes, I think that we take it for granted, being nice to people, what they can do, because we were there and the guy was showing us what they were doing. And one of the guys was getting married, and we said, well, why you didn't come to the Cayman Islands? And, lo and behold, who came to the Cayman Islands for his honeymoon. and you know, we showed him a good time, and he put out an offer to us that, listen, anything that he can do to help enhance our breed, he would do. And now him and his wife is willing to come to the Cayman Islands to do embryos for us. Wow. So, I mean, that's a good stepping stone.
Yeah, of course.
And I think with embryos and the artificial insemination program, I think sky's the limit. Pretty soon, in the near future, the Cayman Islands can brag and say that we have probably the best beef in the region, without a doubt, very soon.
That's a great thing to have, to be able to have that staple statement to say that your beef is that top quality. I think that's a huge tribute to the work of yourself and the Minister of Agriculture and all of her work she's done within her ministry.
Yeah, and Raymond, I want to take some time to thank the government, you know, the Honourable Premier and the Honourable Minister, Ms. Juliana O'Connor Connolly, for their support. You know, definitely without their support, it definitely would not be possible. And the Ministry of Agriculture also, because you know, it's sometimes as farmers it becomes kind of, you know, like depressing, you know, that you're not moving forward.
Yep.
But like what we always talk about, that there's the pie is only a certain size, and there's so many people that wants a piece of the pie. So we understood that, and we want to say thanks to the government for their support and their continued support, and we look forward to making this a success.
President Smith, thank you so much for that, and I second everything you just said towards the Premier, Honourable Premier, and Honourable Minister of Agriculture. Thank you again for coming in, and all the best with the sale this weekend and the future of the breeding programs for our island's cows. On that note, we do need to call it a wrap for Talk Today this afternoon. Thank you again to all of our loyal listeners out there in Radio Cayman Nation, and to our ambassadors for Older Persons Month, Miss Felicia from Jasmine, and President George from the Cayman Islands Agricultural Society, and of course to the simply awesome Miss Susan Watson. It's been a pleasure filling in for Mr. Sterling, and until next time, I'm Raymond Singh. God bless, and have a fantastic rest of your Monday and your week.